Good morning, this is Tracy Allen of stampandscrap.uk. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in Crewe in Cheshire. I do classes in Northwich and Northwich and Sandbach, and also do parties and classes in homes in Cheshire. So that's me. Today I am going to do a video on the Dandilion Wishes stamp set, a video that was promised over 2 weeks ago on a previous video. Basically, I do feel a bit like this video is doomed, as I promised it on that video, having held it in my hand the day before, and I said yep, no problem, and then I haven't been able to find it. I do actually think that possibly it may have accidentally slipped into a bag that we threw away during my craft room clear out. That's the only thing I can think of, or it's still somewhere hiding. And then on Friday I got heat stroke when I was supposed to be doing it and really didn't feel up to doing it. And then yesterday I had 4 attempts. My phone overheated. I had an update that turned off Facebook. Basically 4 times I attempted this video and only got part of the way through. So I'm going to do the video again. Hopefully we'll get all the way to the end with another idea that I want to show you, and I might actually end up doing 4 cards, we shall see. So today I have decided, because some of you have seen this video more than once. Just trying to open up the screen. There we go. So because many of you have seen this video more than once, or parts of the video more than once, why is it paused? Oh no. Because I've seen many of you have seen this video more than once, I am going to attempt to do these in a different colourway. And that means I might have to do a little bit of extra work to get them to work, because you've seen them in Night of Navy and I want you to see at least something different. Right, so today I will be using Dandilion Wishes. The lined alphabet and the layering alphabet edgelets, which are in the catalogue as a bundle. Now it is not a cheap bundle. It costs £133. However, you can make well, I think 4 at least different widths of word books. You can also use them to do card fronts, and you also get an alphabet. So when you think about 4, I mean, it would be like a set of 4 different dies for 4 different widths. So that soon adds up, and then you add the alphabet in and the stamp set, and suddenly it seems like amazingly good value. So, and also it's amazingly clever. I really think that Stampin' Up have excelled themselves with how adaptable and useful this die set is. Die and the stamp set as well that goes with it. So there. I know it's a considered purchase, but when you consider everything that you can do with it, I honestly think it'll be one of the best investments you've ever made. And then I'm also going to be using Time for Tea, just for one little bit. I'm just going to move those out of the way. As I said, I will not be doing these on Night of Navy because that's what I did the other day. I will be using Night of Navy ink. So there will be other stuff that I'm using, but I'll introduce it along the way because I do want to get started with this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to select the colour that I'm going to use, and I think I'm going to do it in Gorgeous Grape. Now I know it's not very night time at the moment, it doesn't look very night time at the moment, but I'm hoping that with a bit of judicious inking it will do the job. So I'm just going to cut myself a piece of C5 cardstock. I've got all my measurements that I use all the time marked up on my trimmer. So I'm lining this up to C5. I highly recommend that you mark your trimmer up with your regular used measurements, especially if you're British, because A4's got such difficult little bits of inches and stuff that it's just easier to line up and mark you. But what I normally do is I measure out one, and when I know it's right, I'll make a little mark, and then I just move this to my C6 mark and score it, and I've got my card blank. And there we go. I've got a card blank. Oops, sorry, I've just knocked the blinking camera. It's in the way. Why did I not have that in the way yesterday? There we go. And then I cut myself a piece of cardstock that is an 1/8 of an inch border, which I have the mark already set up for marks. I still need to do this because I didn't do it yesterday, and these are getting harder to see. I think it's there. No, it's not there. Yeah, they've worn off since yesterday. So let me check that. I think I've used the wrong mark. Oh, no, that is the right mark. And then I'm going to cut myself a mat with a 1/4 of an inch border. Which is there. So those are the pieces I want. And while I'm at it, I'm going to cut myself another piece just as I've got my trimmer out. So I want a piece that's 1/4 of an inch matte for the next card. So I'm just going to line this up with my marks and cut myself a piece. So I've now got another mat for the next card. Hopefully we'll save a bit of time. So I also need I'll cut this piece as well, and then we're finished with the trimmer. So you'll need a strip that is 7/8 long. This piece is just under 4 inches long, and that's plenty long enough. I don't know if you could see that. No, you couldn't. So I've just cut this piece that is 7/8 of an inch wide, and I've cut a piece that's just under 4 inches long. That's plenty long enough. That's my pieces cut on the trimmer. Right, so I'm going to take my smallest mat, and I'm going to use our Twinkle Builder Punch, which I think is stunning, because you get 3 different stars, 4 different stars and a moon, and I think 2 little dots as well. I think it's really easy to use just bits of it. So I'm going to punch in this corner and turn it over like so. That's where I'm going to move those to one side. You can use those in shaker cards or for another card. Now, yesterday I used Whisper White to edge this, but because I want this to be a nighttime card, I am going to use Night of Navy. So I'm going to ink this quite heavily with Night of Navy. I did get the Night of Navy doorbell, but I can't find it. I've just buried it somewhere, so I'm going to get a new one and get my Night of Navy out. So this is gorgeous grape that I'm using. I'm going to ink up my dauber very well, and I'm going to ink it heavily. Very heavily. And then I don't necessarily want it to be even because it's the night sky. I'm going to ink it a little bit all over. There we go. So that's my cardstock piece. I'm also going to ink the edge of this just a little bit. Again, I'm not particularly bothered if it's even. I'm going to be inking with Whisper White over the top of this. This is to make a slightly different card than the one I've already made in the previous video. I think that's enough. No, maybe I just need a little bit of dark, especially seeing I am going to Whisper White over the edge. So I'm just going to ink up all my bits before I do the stamping. Okay. And when I'll have to do my card as well. Let's do the card as well. Get all the bits inked. Do it in some sort of order, Trace. So, oh, I've got 5 watchers. Hello, everyone. Nobody's introduced themselves yet. Or if they have, you're not showing up on comments. As I said, I don't particularly want even, because this is supposed to be like a night sky. In fact, I want it particularly uneven. There you go, let's just try layering them up to see if that's the look I want. I will be Whisper Whiting around the outside of these as well. Okie dokie, I think. Yeah, that'll do. Do a Whisper White first. Oof, I don't know. No, let's do the stamping first. Hi Patricia, how are you? Hope you're well. Things are going slightly better today. And as I said, I am doing a slightly different card, so we shall see whether it looks as nice as the original. So the original, anybody who hasn't already seen it, is this one here. But because I've done it so many times, I've decided to go a different route and use Gorgeous Grape. And that means I have to do a few things differently because it's not really night sky enough. So I want to do some stamping now, so I'm going to use Versamark. I'll need my white embossing powder and my stamp from Dandilion Wishes, which is here. And for this card I will be using this stamp, and I realised that I was so frustrated last night that I didn't even clean the stamp after the last card. Oh, I could have cried the way things were going. Good, Patricia, I'm glad you're fine, and thanks so much for the review yesterday. It really made me smile, especially after the day I had. So thanks for that. So we're going to stamp the dandelions in this corner. Oh, I know what I didn't do. I didn't do my embossing buddy. Well, let's hope that it doesn't stick to all the inking that you've done, which it probably will. So, yeah, messed this one up already. Oh, not too bad. In fact, other than my fingerprints, it's not too bad. So I'm just going to get a little brush. Because it's nowhere near the dandelions, I'm just going to clean that bit up. Right, I'm going to get my heat gun. I warn you, this is very loud because it's directly underneath my phone. So yeah, it is quite loud, the heat gun. As it's live, I can't turn it off and do it off camera and come back, so I'm afraid you're stuck with this. Right, I think that's done. Just want to hold it in the light to check, yeah. So, I did see this done on I did say yesterday, on a painting of dandelions many years ago, and I thought, wow, I really like that technique. So when I saw the Dandelion stamp set, the Dandelion Dream stamp set, I thought, wow, I've got to do that. So, yeah, I've decided to show this card. Now, I've just realised that I can't find the piece of... Ah, there we go. Glimmer card I need in a minute. So, to do this, you need 3 cotton buds. You tap them down till they're flat, and then you put elastic band around them to hold them. And we're going to fill out the dandelions with this. So I'm going to tap it on here, and then tap it over the dandelion. I'm not going to re-ink. I might have to re-ink just to do a couple more. There we go. And then I'm going to do this one. And you can build these up as much or as little as you want. You don't want them going too far over the edge. I think that's enough. There we go. Yeah, that's better. So there are my dandelions filled out. So I'm now going to take a piece of Shimmer Glimmer card and wonder what I did with my snips in my mood yesterday. There they are. I wasn't really that moody considering everything I went through yesterday. It was just that I just left things where they were instead of sorting them out and tidying up before I went. So I'm just going to cut myself a piece of card that will cover the holes punched with the Twinkle Builder punch. Just going to use snail for this because I just want to hold it in place, because it will be held in place properly by another layer of cardstock. So this is all I need to do. Just rub it down. There we go. So I'm going to ink around the edge of this one with my white ink, and then we'll get on to doing the next piece of this card. And I want it to look a bit misty, so I'm really not bothered about being neat and tidy and keeping it off the page. I want it to actually go on and off. There we go. Especially the top piece. There we go. I need a bit more on that side, I think. There we go, build it up. I'm now going to add, hello, to anybody who's joined, thank you so much for coming. So I'm now going to stamp my greeting, which is here, and it's the I made a wish and you came true greeting from the Dandilion Wishes stamp set. I'm just going to stamp it onto my 3/4 inch strip of card. I think that's probably in the middle. I have made it a little bit bigger than I need. No, it's also got two sides, so I will stamp that again because I'm not quite happy with it. I wanted it a little bit more up in the middle. That'll do. My drawers actually stuck out an inch, so I'm actually sitting a bit back from the table where I normally would. But I thought it would make too much noise to shut the drawer. I wished I had shut the drawer now because I can't actually see properly what I'm doing. There we go. Yeah, that's not quite level, but for the sake of speed, I'm just going to ink this up. Oh, I don't like that. No, I'm not, because I'm not going to do it wrong. I'm going to cut myself another 3/4 inch strip. Sorry, it's not 3/4, it's 7/8 inch strip. So, just going to shut that, cut it, right. I didn't want to have to do that, but... So, other than Patricia, I have another viewer I'd like to say hello to. Thank you for watching my video. I'm just going to stamp that there, that should be more level. No, I need to get my head in, I need to get my head over the top of it while I'm stamping. So if you see my head, I'm really sorry. Right. That's better. Still not right. Can't quite get my head close enough to do it. So I'm just going to heat emboss that. Go. And I'm also going to do what I did with the other one, which is use the Night of Navy. I've broken my dauber. Been a bit heavy-handed with my dauber today. I'm going to cut this down. Right, that should do it. It's not quite dark enough. I want to leave it fairly light in the middle. There we go. I'm going to trim, oh no, not first. Before I trim it, I'm just going to punch myself the it's the medium of the small stars. I'm going to use my adhesive, which I left the top off yesterday because I just abandoned all hope. I'm just going to sort that out. So I'm going to put my adhesive on. Go. And I'm just going to bung the little star up there. So once that's on, I'm going to trim that down. Trim it. I can't cut a straight line with a pair of scissors for love nor money. I started crafting 20 odd years ago, when there wasn't much of anything about. And to be honest, if you look back at my old cards, it really is quite embarrassing. And if it wasn't for the invention of all the tools that we have, I don't think I'd be crafting now. There we go. So there's my little tag. I think I want a little bit more ink on the edge. So here we go. Yeah. There we go, so that's it. And I want to add a little bit of Whisper White craft ink. Around the edge. There we go. So now we're going to do the Whisper White around the edge of my card blank and my other mat. When you are inking, if you hold your fingers just underneath the bit you're inking, it'll be nice and rigid. And if you don't, it'll bend and you'll get more flexibility. So I'm holding a little bit weight, gives a little bit more flexibility. There we go. So that's that inked enough. Let me have a look. Yep. This card will actually look quite different than the other one. It's all the same techniques other than the inking with the darker Night of Navy, because on the Night of Navy card I just did the Whisper White inking. I think this would actually suit a Halloween card really well. Right, so that's card number 1. All I have to do is put it together. So I'm going to use my snail. I'm going to put this one flat. In fact, I'm going to put them all flat except for the greeting. So you can see how the glitter card will be held in place, which is why I didn't need to put too much to hold it in place while I was working on the card. There we go. So that's now level. And now I'm going to put my greeting on dimensionals. So this is card number 1. So on my original card, I put the greeting there. Yeah, I still like it there. I'm going to keep it there. So that's the same card made with Night of Navy and Gorgeous Grape with a little bit of extra inking. And I think they're both lovely, but I think they're very different and they give a completely different impression. I actually think I like that one more than that one. Although I don't know. I like them both. I definitely think they'd appeal to slightly different people. So that's the first card, done in Night of Navy and also in Gorgeous Grape. So my second card, which is missing, I will start, where have I put it? Oh no, I've missed, nope. You definitely saw it earlier, it was definitely there, I've just misplaced it for a second, which is a shame because I wanted to show you. There it is. So this is the card we're going to make next. I'm also going to do this with Gorgeous Grape. This time it doesn't have to be a nighttime card, so I think Gorgeous Grape will work on its own. It doesn't particularly need dark inking. So I'm going to take the mat that I cut earlier. That's the one. And the first thing I'm going to do is the embossing. And this time I am going to use two stamps from the set. This one and this one. So the first thing I want to do is again use Versamark, and I want to ink this up and stamp it just there, slightly angled up. And again, I forgot to use the embossing buddy. Don't know what's wrong with me today. It'll be okay. It'll be fine. I'll brush it off. and make sure you stamp your flying bits the right way round. So if you imagine these flying out away from the dandelion, you're going to have them so they're going across the card and spreading out a tiny bit, like so. I'm putting a little bit more on than on my original. That's it. So again, I'm going to use my white embossing powder. Hello. Thank you, Patricia. I must admit, I do like the card. Which one did you prefer? Did you prefer the dark blue one or the gorgeous grape one? Now I can see a little bit that's not where I want it. There you go. So I'm going to heat emboss this. Yeah, I like the grape one as well. I think that was my favourite out of the two. I mean, I liked the blue one when I did it, but I do think I preferred the grape one. I think Gorgeous Grape is one of my favourite colours at the moment. No, in fact, I really like Soft Sea Foam. I like Gorgeous Grape. I like a lot of the new colours very much. It's very difficult to pick which is my favourite new colour. Right, so there we go. So with this card I am using the lined alphabet and layering lined alphabet stamp set and the layering alphabet edgelet dies, which, as I said, can make word books and do really interesting card fronts. But a lady called Claire Griffith, who is one of my uplines, downlines and a teammate, fantastic lady who does some fantastic designs, showed me this, and I hadn't seen anybody else do it. I asked her if I could show people, and she said yes, as long as you credit me, and I was like, yeah, no problem. But I actually think this was inspired, and it's yet another way of using the layering edgelets. So I want to get my big shot out. I'm going to put this on there. What I am going to do... Oh no, I'm not. No. I was going to try something, but then decided it wasn't a good idea. I was going to try cutting both layers together, but I decided that would probably leave too much of an impression in the paper. So I'm going to put the dies on the card. Now, the top of the letter is always the rounded bit, and the bit at the bottom, that's the bottom. And they're made like this so they can fit into the book die. It's like the page die. But actually, it also helps you work out which way round they go. Now, I haven't actually done this yet, but I do recommend that if you buy the dies, when you buy the dies, that you mark them with what letter they are. It makes it a little bit easier for finding which one's which. I think that's there. I want this here. So I'm just evenly spreading these out in a slight arc. But there's nothing to say you couldn't have one down here and one up there. You can have them wherever you want on the card. You can, you know, cut out all sorts of pop-up words. Do I like that? Maybe I want it a little bit more random. Yeah, let's do that. I'm just going to pop this in place and push this down, and we're going to go through. So you will leave little marks in the cardstock, there's no two ways about it. But you really won't notice them when the card's finished. So I've cut that. I need a piece of Whisper White, which is all the way over the other side of the desk. Can I reach? So what I'm going to do now is I am going to... What am I going to do? I'm going to stamp them first. Yeah, we'll stamp them second. Let's try that, because I haven't actually tried stamping them second. I mean, it would be really easy if I lined them up in my Stamparatus. I just want to do this as quickly as possible. So far so good, touch wood. Seem to have sound and no updates and no dropping me out of Facebook and nothing dramatically going wrong so far. Touch wood again. So we've had some rain at last, so at least the garden's feeling a bit better. And to be honest, I think the temperature going down has helped me a lot. I mean, I don't mind hot weather, but it's been hot for so long that it was beginning to get a bit much. Plus the fact I'm at that age, and when it gets a bit much, it can be quite a lot much. Now, I'm doing this with Gorgeous Grape, aren't I? So I don't want to use... So I'm going to have to use Gorgeous Grape instead of what I used before, which was Night of Navy. So I want to stamp the letters onto the letters. So I'm just going to try and get my head over the top. Do the H next because it's already out. I'm just going to move this down so I can get my head over it a bit. So if you can't see, I'm really sorry. That's still not quite right. We'll continue with this. As I said, I normally get my head right over the top, and I haven't. Let's see if I can do it this way. Better, but not perfect. Yeah, I probably should have lined it up on the Stamparatus. too late for that now. Let's just bang on. I think. Yeah, I think I had much more success when I stamped them first. So that would be my advice, is stamp them first. Makes it a bit easier. Or use your Stamparatus. But I haven't got mine out for this, and I really don't want to go hunting for it. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp. I think I might stamp off this next bit. Do I want to stamp off? Or do I want to use Highland Heather? I think I'll stamp off. So I'm going to use this one again, and I'm going to ink up that bit and stamp it into each letter. There we go. Oh, it's warm. It's so warm. It's warming up now. In my big mouth. I was quite cool until about 2 seconds ago. Right, so I'm going to cut. Just going to take this, and it's got like a little fold up bit. I'm just going to snip them off at the fold up bit. So like that. This being is because I found it's a lot easier to cut them out once out of the paper, rather than trying to be careful inside of the paper. There we go. Now, as I've not cut these out, stamped these quite correctly, I am just going to follow the lines of the die rather than the lines of the stamping, because I know I've not quite got it right. So where the die goes, I'm just following the shape, which is dead easy to do. So you can see how easy it is to get these cut out from the actual sheet of paper. So you have got a whole alphabet. Right, so I'm going to take my piece of card. I'm going to get an embossing tool and a ruler or a protractor. I did have my protractor out yesterday. No idea where that's disappeared to. So I'll just reach over for a ruler. I'm just going to use the ruler, and I'm going to line up the two edges of the fold out section and draw a line in, just to help make it easy to pop these out. I mean, you don't have to, you can just pop them out. There's two ways of popping these out. You can draw the line there, or you can draw it closer to the actual letter, but I'm going to pop them out from here. Right, so they're drawn in. I'm just going to use my adhesive and stick the letters on. You could also use this with patterned paper and cut some patterned paper letters out. To make sure you don't actually adhere them where they shouldn't be adhered, you could pop them out before you would adhere them. Just thinking, I didn't actually check. There we go. So I'm just going to finish this. Just thinking, on the one I did yesterday I decided to add a corner, and I've not done that because I didn't do that until this morning and I forgot all about it. And the corner was from, where's my H gone? How can I lose a H? It was all going so well. There we are. Ooh. So I'm just going to stick my H on. Right. Now just to prove that you can actually decide to add something. So I'm going to add my embossing buddy. Just going to put these away before I lose them. And I'm going to get out the oh no, I'm going to change it again. I'll just need to find an A. I'm just going to have to find an A from another set, because I've decided from time to tea I am going to use a stamp from here, and it's from me to you, and I think that will work really well with this card. So I'm going to add some more embossing buddy because I'm going to stick it in this section here. And I am going to use my Versamark. Hello, number 3, whoever you are. I hope you're having a nice day. I'm just going to get my white embossing. Spring. Flick. Ooh, don't know how I've done that. Get my brush out because that's not good enough. I want an A, a small A. Have we got one in here? Let's have a look. Yes. So I'm just going to find the A. Might be a bit small, the A in there. What stamp set have I got? That's got an A of the right size. So excuse the noise, I'm just going to find an A. An A, an A, an A. We think. Huh. one will do. That will do. It might not be huge, but it will do. So I'm using Love What You Do, and oh, that's a tiny A. Well, I'm going to have to use a tiny A. So I'm just going to get I'm going to use my stamping chamois, just make sure this is actually cleaned off, because the last thing I want is an extra bit. This is a tiny A, it really is a tiny A. You can have a look through your stamp sets and use a different size A. I think an A that big's too big, and I haven't got another A that's quick to get hold of. So this is just to show you how to do this. So I'm going to get myself a bud. I'm going to tap it onto my embossing folder. Burst and mark pad. I'm going to ink the A up and stamp it there. I mean, that's too small. That is way too small. I'll probably find another one later and remedy this, but for the sake of this and the fact that I'm not stopping, I'm just going to do a tiny wish. So I have a little tiny A there. I think what this needs to finish it off is a gem on the dot of the eye. So let's see if I can find a gem for the top of the eye. I think I'm going to use one of those sparklies. And I've got a small one left. I'm going to stick one of them on the eye. There we go. So this needs to go onto a card blank. I think I'm going to put it on a white one. So I need to quickly make myself a white card blank. So you can see the finished card, and then I'm going to show you one more card idea, or maybe two. I'm just going to stick this down. So you want to keep it well away from the letters. I'll put this on my card. Okay, and pop these up. So there's a wish from you to me, from me to you, even. And that compares to the original. So whichever one you like. That one uses the corner from Time for Tea, and this one uses the A from Love What You Want, Love What You Do. The only thing I'll say, I would use a bigger A for that card. It was the only one I could find in a hurry. So I'm just going to put those to one side. And my final card, which nobody saw yesterday, well, my final card idea, I have no idea whether it'll work. So for this, I want to cut, I want to cut a mat. Because I don't actually know if I'm going to make a card out of this. I'm just going to attempt another card and see whether it works, because I have no idea whether this will work at all. If it does, I might whip together a card. If it doesn't, I won't. So for this you will need, I think Old Olive will work best, and I think we'll use Highland Heather. No, we won't. We'll use Highland Heather and Granny Apple Green. We will need the bigger dandelion. So this time I am going to, there is a plant I quite like, and when I saw this I thought, maybe this will work. So I think I'm going to stamp it as it is. Let's try it as it is. Yeah, that's fine. And then I'm going to use the same technique as I used before with the ink daubers. I'm going to use the other end with the, thank you Liz, hi Liz, and thank you for the comment. Oh, I've smudged that. That's not good enough. So just do that again. Just going to clean my stamp off, just start again for this. So when I saw the dandelion, I wondered if I'd be able to do one of my favourite garden plants with it. And I have no idea, so I'm going to give it a go, or something that might resemble one of my favourite plants. So I'm just going to stamp this down in the corner, like so. I want to make sure that's nice and dry before I do the next bit. I'm actually going to dry that. It should be dry, but because I'm adding on top of it, I just want to make absolutely certain that it's dry enough. So I'm going to take the cotton wool buds I used earlier and use the other side. I'm going to take Highland Heather, and I'm going to I've just realised I've used this end and I didn't plan to. I'm going to twist these because they weren't actually flat. So I actually think that does look quite a lot like alliums. So what I'm going to do with it, I don't really know. So let's have a look what I've got that would make a stamp, which would make a card. I want something that's simple, but it needs something. And obviously you can't use the other one because it's got all the bits flying away, and allium bits don't fly away. So I think possibly what I might do is actually stamp them again, and I might draw some stems in. Partly because I'm not quite sure where I'm going with this yet, but it's not right as it is. It needs more. So let's stamp them up here. I'm going to draw the stems in for them, I think. let's get the colour put on them first. And see if this will actually solve the I don't like it. I've definitely put white on there. I'm turning this around because it's not quite even. Still not quite happy with that. What can I do? I need to do something. I know what I want to do. I want to put a stem in quickly with. This isn't the right colour, I don't think. But no, it's not. Okay. Just doing this. I'm going to get the right colour in a bit. Use the darker one. Now I need to go through my... I haven't got all the colours yet. And can I find the colour I want? No. In fact, I can't find half my flipping pens. Because I have got all the Stampin' Up colours somewhere. Or near enough all. That's better. I'm just going to fill that out. I've got to make thicker stems on these ones. I'll mess this one up. I need to do this again. This is why I test things out. I've made the stems too thick. But yeah, I definitely think, ignoring that bit, that looks like an allium. I need to retry this. I definitely think it's worth trying. I want to make a completed card. So it's definitely an allium. I'm glad you agree, Liz, that it's an allium. It was one of the things I was like, I wonder if you could make an allium, because they're very similar structure, the allium and the dandelion. And I just thought, I mean, I really love alliums. I think I'm going to start this differently. I'm going to start this with the... I'll start this as a horizontal card, and I'm going to put the first one in the centre there. And then I'm going to come down here. And then up there, so I don't have to do as many stems. The stems I have to do aren't so big. And then it's just a case of dabbling all your colour on. So you could actually do different coloured alliums. We'll do pink allium. But I'm sticking with thingy. Just going to draw in the little bit of stem on that one. And hopefully people will notice how bad a drawer I am. Anyway, moving swiftly on. I think the I made a better job of the other end of the cotton wool buds. If you do it in a sort of circular motion, I think where there's a join, I would try and keep a darker bit so you can see which one's in front. That's in front. This one's in front. So I'll do a darker bit. That one's behind. That one's behind. This one's in front, I think. So I'll do the darkest bit here. Grand. Yeah, if I'd have got these tapped down a bit more evenly, I think I'd have had a better result. So you can keep tapping until you get the result you want. So there's my alliums. Thank you, Patricia. Hi, Carol from Quebec. Thank you so much for watching. I'm almost finished and nothing's gone wrong. Touch wood. Other than my desk looks like a bomb's hit it, but that's fine. So yeah, this is the allium card. So I think we can get away with putting wishes for a lifetime of love and happiness, because nobody's going to question whether these were originally dandelions, and wishes for anything is a normal greeting on a card. It doesn't have to be dandelion related. So it's just a case of where I'm going to put it and what I'm going to do it in. I think we definitely have to do it in a purple. But which purple and where? I think I'm actually going to go Gorgeous Grape, just to give it something to make it pop a bit more. And I'm guessing that I've put that on level enough, I hope so. But I don't have to get it perfect for you to get the idea anyway. So do I put it here or do I put it there? I think here. I don't like it there. I don't know why I don't like it there, but I don't. So it's going to have to go here. Oh no! Alliums don't hang upside down, do they? It all went so well. Okay. So, basically, what happens in a situation like this is I look for an alternative. So if you just give me a second, I will nip round to my desk, pick up a die set. You never find it when you want it, can you? I thought it was a big set, but obviously it's not. Oh, I was sure it was at the front. No! What have I done with it? I'm looking for the delicate labels. Delicate labels. Delicate labels. I've obviously moved it. Huh. Huh. Where have I put the delicate labels? Well, I would put a label on it. I hope you can hear me shouting across the craft room. But I seem to have mislaid my label dies. I used them the other day. Where did I take them out with me? I might have taken them to a class as a sample. Which means they won't be up here. They'll be downstairs in my big tote. Yeah, so that was a bit of a mess up right at the end. So anyway, ladies, I would cut a circle out that fits out over the top. I really want to put one of those labels on and do it because I think those labels are stunning. I did have one cut out somewhere. But where? Nope. So yeah, that's the card other than the upside down greeting with my Dandilion Wishes alliums. So that's it for me today. Thank you so much for staying with me. I hope that I've given you some ideas. If you want to buy any of the products mentioned, you can find my shop at www.stampandscrap.uk. Yeah, it's not .co.uk, it's just a .uk. There will be, if you put an order in of £30 or more, I will be giving away a little gift from me with every order over £30, and of course if you put an order in you will get a card. So thanks very much for watching. I've actually completed a video with like only one serious mistake, and thank you, I've enjoyed chatting. Oh, punch. Oh no. I could use punch. No, I really want to use one of those delicate labels. I thought I had one cut out, but obviously not. I don't know where I've put it. Let's check it's not on my computer now. I think one of those decorative labels will look really nice over there, and it'll be the right shape as well to go in that that gap. So, other than the upside down greeting, these are the cards that we've made today. I'm just going to swipe my desk clean. So those are the cards we made today, and these are the two cards that I made yesterday in my Doomed video. So you've got some alternatives. Thank you very much for watching. I'm just going to cover that one up and leave the alliums poking out. And I will actually sort that out and post it on my page later with a greeting that's the right way up And I will catch you all hopefully tomorrow. Or if not, it'll be Tuesday. Actually, it will be Tuesday. I'm busy all day tomorrow. So I do plan to do a video on Tuesday. Not quite sure what with yet. I definitely want to play with No, I'll keep it a secret. I'm definitely going to be playing with some other new stuff. So, thank you. Thank you, Carol. Oh, I'm glad you find them beautiful. Glad that I've inspired somebody. And thank you, all of you, for sticking with me over the last 2 days of complete and utter chaos. And hopefully my videos will be getting better. And hopefully I'll be able to share my ideas with you without so much mess. Although if you could see my desk now, yeah, it's not likely. Yeah, but you won't get to see as much mess. And I don't think my desk's going to be quite this messy in future. It's just, yeah. I didn't tidy my desk up before I started. I just thought I'm just going to go for it to make sure that I get it done. So thanks very much, and I will catch you all again later. Have a lovely Sunday and have a lovely week. Bye! She says, bye!